Good evening, and welcome to our first live episode of Magic the Gathering Arena. I welcome you. We're going to go ahead and draft course at 2020 tonight. So, out of this first pack here, I like Air Elemental as a flying 4/4, although Murder and Shock are also really good. So I think in this case we'll actually go with the Shock and try and get ourselves into a blue-red or red-green elemental deck. And along those lines again, I'm going to go ahead and take the second Shock. Alright, so here we have the third Shock, and it's a little redundant, but I'm really a fan of Winged Words with as many flying blue elementals as there are in this set. Okay, so I think here our options are Thicket Crasher or Brightwood Tracker. Brightwood Tracker is good for card advantage later game and it's a mana sink, although I am really a fan of the Thicket Crasher as it allows us to break through combat. Alright, and in this case here, staying on color with green and red, blue will probably be our splash. I like Ferocious Pup as it gives us 2 bodies for 3 mana. And again, with all the flyers in the set, Netcaster Spider's really good for blocking those creatures. I'm not particularly enticed by many cards here. I'll probably take a Pack Mastiff as we saw one prior, and we might be able to get some small synergies with multiples. Again, I'm a fan of the Netcaster Spider here, although we do have a 1-drop Scorch Spitter, which should help us on curve. I think right here we're going to go with Scorch Spitter. Okay, I'm yet to try Season of Growth. I do like the card selection it gives us, and the possibility of drawing cards. However, I do not plan on casting many spells that target our own creatures, but I think I'd like to possibly give this a shot. We may end up sideboarding it. Okay. In this case, we're just gonna go ahead and take a generic 3/3, just to help stay on curve, and I do like the Heart Piercer bow here. Multiple Heart Piercer bows can actually wreak a lot of havoc on our enemy's board state. Looks like we wield the Brightwood Tracker, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm actually happy about that. And here, I think I'm just interested in the Pump spell. It's good to have a combat trick here and there. Alright. Again, here we're left with a lot of options. The Flying Dragon is really good. It's a 3/3, but it does give us 2 treasure tokens, so instead of being a 3/3 for 5, it's basically a 3/3 for 3. Whereas the Thunderkin Awakener, without putting a bunch of enchantments on it, we're really going to get limited effect out of it, if any at all. And since a lot of our creatures do not have flying, I'm not all that interested in the Flame Sweep. So I think here we're going to go ahead and take the Dragon. Okay, I couldn't be much happier with this. I do like the Air Elemental. I was looking at this in our first pack, and I'm glad that we ended up with one here. So let's take that as our pick. Okay, being 3 colors. Oh, I was going to say take Gift of Paradise, however, Reduced Ashes is good. I like having the removal for larger creatures, and the fact that it exiles a creature if it dies is just a bonus on top of that. Okay, here we have another ferocious pup, but I like the body on the Silverback Shaman and the ability to draw a card if it dies. Trample's just an extra bonus on top of that. Yet to play with this card, I'd like to see the impact that it has for us. With so many flyers, I'm tempted to take the Mammoth Spider here. However, we already have a bunch of 5-drops. We might just be better off taking the Brightwood Tracker. Let's see here. Or even the Pack Mastiff to help stay on curve. So I felt that the Pack Mastiff is a little bit worse, but it puts us where we need to be. I'm happy taking another Rapacious Dragon here for the same reasons. And there is our second Heart Piercer bow. Okay, so we're a little light on the early game. And in that case, a Sedge Scorpion with a Death Touch could actually help us hold down the board while we develop into our 5-drops. Okay, right here, I like the flying on the Metropolis Sprite, and we haven't gotten many elementals, so the Ember Cat doesn't do as much for us, so I'm going to go ahead and take, well, I was going to take the Sprite. However, with blue being our splash, I don't want to go too far down that road, so we will take the Ember Cat. Yeah, this is a card I've been a big fan of. Been able to sneak a lot of damage in through our draft, and the fact that it has haste just gives us that one extra turn to do so. I will take Natural End. It'll end up in our sideboard. And here I'm tempted to take Goblin well, you know what? The Moat Piranhas will help us live longer in order to develop our 5-drops. Okay, between Dragon Mage and Reckless Airstrike, it's good to be able to deal damage to creatures with flying. However, this uncommon is very powerful and might give us the late game we're looking for. And we wield a Reckless Airstrike. Okay, there we go. One of the better green rares in this set. The fact that Gargos fights a creature whenever one of your creatures is targeted by a spell is amazing, and it's a Vigilant 8/7. So we're going to go ahead and take this. And part of the reason being is we're looking for an inevitability in our deck. Basically, if we flip our deck over and our opponent flips theirs over, I want my cards to have so much more value that it's just clear that we would have won the game. Okay, so we only have 2 4-drops here, and the Lavakin Brawler fits nicely in that slot. However, the Cloudskin Seer is a cantrip and it's flying, so I think we're going to go with it. Okay, right here we're going to go with the 3rd Chalk, just a little bit of extra removal for the early game. I haven't played much with Chandra's Spitfire. I'd like to give it a shot, especially with 3 shocks in the deck. It makes it a lot more tempting. The ability to give it the +3/+0 is a lot easier. Okay. I'm really glad that this came out 3 now. Weaponsmith helps us to get our Heart Piercer bow combo online a lot quicker. And so we're going to go ahead and take it. Okay, the Leafkin Druid will help us with our mana. And it'd be really nice to get a couple of duels here in our colors. However, the chances of that happening right now are fairly slim. Okay. Probably won't end up playing it, but I'm going to take the Vor's Claw. Well, yeah, I think that's just our best pick right now. We're definitely heavy on the top end, and we're going to have to reduce the number of playables we have there. Alright, as you can see, we wield the Ferocious Pup, and again, this helps us stay alive in the early game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Plummet as a nice sideboard card. Same with the Negate. Oh, the Loaming Shaman. I like to consider this card advantage with the Blue Denizen in the draft format. It is possible to become decked, and this helps fight against that. However, I'm not sure if it'll make the cut. Maniacal Rage because it's on color, and Zephyr Charge. Alright. So now it is time to start cutting cards. Let's cut everything off color to begin with. We really didn't get that many off-color cards in this draft, which is quite amazing. Now we're going to cut spells that won't do much for us in the main deck. So I think we're going to cut both Pack Mastiffs, the Negate, the Zephyr Charge, the Maniacal Rage, the Plummet. And I don't believe I like the Season of Growth here. We have enough power in our top end that I'm not too worried about scrying through our cards. I don't feel this is a deck for Scorch Spitter, as we're trying to get to the top end, and Reckless Airstrike is another sideboard card. Okay, so along those lines, we're going to get rid of Growth Cycle. And with fewer 2 powerless creatures, I'm going to get rid of the Goblin Smuggler as well. Over here on the top end, Vor's Claw can go, as we already have a 6 and a 7 drop, and a number of 5 drops. Alright, time to make room for 6 more cards. I like the Double Heart Piercer Bow combo, so I'm not going to get rid of that. This Hedge Scorpion can go. And I'm tempted to get rid of the Ember Cat, as it doesn't really help us ramp out most of our top end. And the Centaur Courser being a generic 3/3. So now I think with fewer elementals we can get away with 1 Thicket Crasher, although 1 is still nice to have. And we're going to go ahead and remove the Moat Piranhas right now also. I don't typically want to be at 41 cards. However, I'm not sure what else to cut. I guess we can cut the 1 Ferocious Pup. Okay, and there's our 40. So we've got 4 blue cards, 5 islands, which I'm alright with. The only part that concerns me about that is the double island for Air Elemental. And of course the triple green for Gargos. Right, let's go ahead and give this a shot. This seems like a pretty solid Temur deck. Alright, time for game 1. actually really happy with this hand. We have all three of our colors, our 3-drop plus the ability to draw cards, so hopefully hit lands and cast our later cards. It's almost a mulligan to 6 because the Dragon Mage is a 7 cost casting card. However, with this land combination and the ability to draw, I'm alright with that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stay on color here as much as possible, not to reveal as little information to our opponent. Okay. And it looks like we will be casting our dragon on turn, which is really exciting. Because the turn after that, the Dragon Mage itself comes out. So that Sage's Row Denizen is what I was talking about with the Loaming Shaman. And Winged Words. Looks like there's a chance they might try to mill us out, but I feel like we're going to be in a good enough position to beat them down. So next turn I will be playing the Forest because we know that Gargos is in the deck and we need to get to 3 Forest. Well, that was a little unfortunate. This makes the Dragon Mage a little bit riskier. However, I think we're going to go ahead and attack into the Metropolis Sprite in an effort to trade. That way our Dragon Mage can't get through. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. Oh my goodness, this is getting out of hand. I was not expecting to be milled out like this. Hopefully we can draw our Loaming Shaman and cast it. Put all of our cards back in our deck. It would have been really nice having 2 Loaming Shamans and be able to loot them. Cast that caster, and then attack and hope to get the Loaming Shaman. Okay, so I don't see it here. So I believe the play here is a Silverback Ape to be able to press our advantage with our opponent as we only have 7 cards left. So if they play 1 blue creature, we're down to 1 turn. So that was our last card. Let's see what we can get together this turn. Whenever. So it looks like we probably lost this game. However, I'm going to put my opponent through the bases. Well, that's really unfortunate. That'll cause us to draw a card and lose the game. So I felt fairly comfortable with the way the deck played. Unfortunately, our opponent had a strategy that just couldn't get around. Alright, so that's one loss. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves. Well, that is quite the opening hand. No green mana, but I'm sure we're bound to draw into some, so we're going to go and keep this. So we're able to remove our opponent's early game threats if need be. And we'll go ahead and take care of that right now. There's a forest. We got really lucky there. Play out our Leafkin, have access to second green and the Silverback Shaman next turn. Hey, look at that, deja vu. Just what the doctor ordered. Okay, in the effort to give my opponent as little information as possible, we go ahead and play out the forest and then play our shaman. I feel like we have a pretty commanding board presence right now, and we're set in a good spot. Even though our opponent has a handful of cards. Okay, our opponent chose human. Interesting. Okay, right now we're going to play out the island in case we end up drawing into our air elemental on a second island. And attack the shaman. And I do like the shaman because of the trample and the fact that it replaces itself when it dies. Well, there's the island. Let's see if we can find the elemental. Hopefully they'll take the shields down here for one turn searching for equipment. Which which does not appear to be the case. Okay, we're gonna run the Shaman into the Renowned Weaponsmith since we have a shock available. Actually feel really good about that. They sensed that we had a trick, but it did allow 5 damage to get through, which is going to be critical for us. This is interesting. I'm yet to see a deck with 2 Renowned Weaponsmiths in it, and no Heart Piercer Bow on the table yet. There we go. It's one of the things we were hoping for. Go to attack here with both these creatures. Okay, interesting. Well, I figure they'll block the Shaman. If that's the case, we'll end up shocking the Weaponsmith. Or even if they block the Thicket Crasher. Shocking in combat like that allows us to get 1 damage through. And now we can start searching for creatures next turn. I'd almost be willing to bet that this was a pack one, pick one, based on the number of humans that they've chosen to play in the deck. Let's go ahead and draw 3 cards, or 2 cards here. See what we end up with. That actually worked out really well for us. So we're going to go ahead and I'm trying to think. We're going to get rid of their flyer, as it could probably be the biggest problem for us at this point. An unopposed flyer with 2 of the Heart Piercer bows on it would be a problem. Next turn, Gargos will come down. Okay. Perfect cycle. Just 1 less creature for Gargos to have to eat through. My goodness, that's a lot of bows. So I'm thinking next turn we're going to take the advantage, bang in with the 2 on the Brightwood Tracker, and then actually, probably play the Air Elemental. attack with Elemental. Now Gardos. We've really got our opponent in that position now. Concerned about the Piranhas at all. So here we'll attack with both the Air Elemental and Gargos. Actually, you know what? Because of the trick we saw earlier, we will attack with just the Air Elemental right now. They held up mana. There's a chance they might be able to get lifelink and hold on a little bit longer. Then we'll activate our tracker. Take the Cloud Conceer. I'm not going to play out either of these creatures yet, as they could just be killed off next turn if they choose to attach the bows and attack, although that does not seem like the best course of action. Whew. And that is what I like to consider inevitability in the top end. Luckily, we were able to get there with our mana. Alright, let's see if we can run it back. Okay, this is interesting. We do have 2 castables and 3 forests. I'm hoping to draw into more so a blue source than a red source right away. However, this could work. A swap. Good. It's good to be playing against some different colors now. We've got one option. They know exactly what we're up to. Or so they think. And we're on our way to a 5th turn Gargos, if we can draw another land. So let's see if we search for any cards here. Oh, I did not mean to tap Fleet Future. That was a mistake. Here we're going to go ahead and attack into them. We're just going to press advantage, keep them on their back foot. So, by getting up to 4 more creatures ready for the gas guards next turn. So since they're tapped out, I'm gonna go ahead and trade off the wolf with the burglar. That way we don't have to worry about constantly gaining life. Just do that. And of course we screwed that up. I'll activate the renowned weaponsmith here. Our best bet is to get rid of the vengeful war chief so it doesn't get bigger and bigger, as it could oppose Gargos at some point, and then we'll attack him with our flyers. So where I like casting Gargos here, I think I want to try and draw into a shock and get my second. Well, we only have one blue source. Maybe we can draw into another blue source. That would be beneficial. Okay, that didn't work out like planned. However, we still have the mana to cast Gargos this turn. So let's go ahead. Attack. Cast Gargos. Activate the weaponsmith, get our second bow. Okay. Cast it. And attach it to the Shonner Spitfire. We're gonna go ahead and shoot down the battalion for the signature. use a shock. We go to attack both of our flyers. That's the best idea, actually. Had I equipped the bows over here, that would have been a better idea. Okay, now they have a bow of their own. Good for them. Got a diamond, which we can shoot down, hopefully. We're gonna let that one through uncontested. Okay, so we're gonna shoot down the vampire with the two bows and attack with our other two big beaters here. Air elemental, but we need another blue source, so we will play the Dragon Mage and pass the turn. Let's give this a whirl. No cards in their hand. There we go, random pack on that one. That was getting pretty close, but it was a good game. Like I said, I just really like the inevitability that this deck has presented us. The Temur colors are fairly strong in the draft format. Alright, goal this round. No misplays. Okay, so we got Mana Accelerant, Renowned Weaponsmith, I think versus a Keeper. You just run off. 2 cards for 2 mana is pretty good in this format. So, next turn, let's try and pump out the Rapacious Dragon. There we go. Again, sometimes you just hit. So we're going to attack into the Miscreant here. Try and get it out of the way since they don't know the dragon's following up. However, it did not work that way. And if they try to do anything, we'll sack a treasure token, the shock, the berry. Shock, try and clear it. And cast on the dragon. Oh, I was afraid of that, but that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta run the creatures out there. That's right, we still have a pretty commanding position even though they have all those cards in their hand. Okay. Shoot down the angel. And with those cards in our yard, we're going to go ahead and cast the Renown, weapon, spend the Renown, so we can activate it next turn. And get him with our Flyers. So almost could be considered the Temur Fliers deck. Let's see if they're going to search. Oh, they were able to find one. Not a huge fan of this card if you've got other cards to play in the deck. And there we go. Oh yeah, ranked up to gold 4. Just keep moving our way along. Win number 4 here. Okay, again, I'm fairly happy with this hand. We've gotten lucky on our draws so far. And our ability to play first. Right on turn again. We'll draw a red sorcerer in the next 2 turns. Let's get our dragon out. Now we've got our flyer to cast. Looks like we're probably going up against an elemental set. I was not expecting that. Just for the fact that the Ember Cat is here. And it may be more shocking if that's the case, if we end up trying a red source. Well, we'll just keep playing out the hand that we're dealt. That by no means is a bad card, and it nets us a card again when it dies. Somewhat expecting that. However, while they do it on that instead of the shaman, it just means we're going to get 2 cards out of their hand if they've got another trick for the shaman. Okay, so here our only object is to play up the heart pressure ball and equip it. And we'll hit them on the crack back with when they hit us with the War Claw. Still feel in a pretty good position here, especially if we draw a red source. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and crack in. By hitting here, we trample for the 1 additional damage if they block. That was unfortunate, but at least they didn't hit us with that. Island, play it out, maybe next turn, Gargos will come out. Still not in a bad spot here. Hit us for 9. Then we'll see what happens. We get a red source, we'll let a dragon out. Use a treasure to the shock cat. Okay. We go ahead and shock the Ember cat. Move the scorpion. Wasn't bad, and the next turn we play out Gargos to trade with the Horse Claw. Of course I'll block. Hopefully they don't play out a creature. It's asking a lot. We're now it's of our own to target creature. Okay. Starting to turn it around here. Let's do it. Equip what we can, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up killing the shaman, but it gets the dragon vials off the table. really feel like we're 1-for-1 in each other. Difference is she's at 23 and I'm at 2. Again, I feel our deck has the inevitability. Gives us 2 blockers. So start off here by getting rid of his attacker. And we'll start building our board again next turn.
So many new worlds. So many opportunities to get lost.
Okay. Ooh, Chandra's gonna kill us, isn't she? Really? Surprised. So fall us back into our library. Target the player. Resubmit all of them. Discard goes there. And equip the bow. Like they're just playing with me now. Unless they don't see that Chandra can just kill me outright. There we go.
Hold on. I'm gonna try something new.
Alright. Well, let's try for a win in the gold tier here. So 2 losses, make it up to 4 wins. Looks like we're playing against Mr. Slade. Yeah, it's a bit iffy, but I think we're going to keep this one. I like the ability to draw 1 more land and draw us a couple cards. If our opponent chooses here, there we go. Looks like they decided to keep their hand. Still have turn 2 playing the Heart Piercer Bow, which is good. I do like these 4s. I'm a big fan of those. And I think we're going to develop our board right now. As next turn, cast this if we draw land and equip the bow. Not what I was expecting. We'll go ahead and attack each one. Not for the trade. close next turn, we'll go ahead and use the bow. So if we do get an attack, shoot down there some cloudkins here. There's another one. What do you know? It's pretty good value. Okay, so we're gonna go to an attack, shoot one of them down, and then play the Netcaster Spider. Try and preserve our life total a little bit. Oh, they didn't like that idea, did they? Okay, same plan. Hopefully next turn draw a land. Basically, they just time walked us. So I'm anticipating an attack for 4 and a large creature. Attack for 5 and the override the one is actually pretty good here. That blue deck is good. Okay. Play out the Netcaster, Fliers, and just try and survive another turn. Probably all she wrote, folks. So attack, shoot it down. Play a blocker. Okay. So we're gonna see if we can do this here. I'll start with attacking. Hopefully they don't have a counter spell for us. Got lucky so far tonight, I'm gonna continue to get lucky. That's probably what I was afraid of. Still better just to shoot the creature down, I believe. And that's it, folks. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. We had a pretty good run. We ran hot for a little while, and unfortunately at the beginning of the cold tier we didn't do so well. Have a good night, and please subscribe.